Before we get started in today's episode, I have something excited to announce. If you're listening to this in real time, we are welcoming new members into our online membership program, the Natural Super Kids Klub, only until Sunday, the 31st of October at midnight. And we only open the doors to the club a few times a year. So this is really exciting. And this will be the last time that we are opening the doors this year. Now, the Natural Super Kids Klub is an ongoing membership program where we provide support and inspiration and resources so that you can raise healthy and happy kids. We're all about making small steps to improve your kids' nutrition, to reduce their exposure to toxins and chemicals, to inspire you to use natural medicines such as nutrition and herbal medicine to support your kids' health, and to encourage your family to have as healthy a lifestyle as possible. So, getting outdoors more. We've got lots of things to inspire you to make those healthy changes. So as a club member, you get access to family-friendly whole food recipes that are simple, quick, and easy to cook. We have videos and masterclasses on a whole range of different kids' health topics. We have cheat sheets on a whole range of different health topics as well to make it easy for you to make those healthy changes. And we also have our famous Ask the Naturopath sessions, which happen weekly, where you can get your specific questions answered by a qualified naturopath, either me or another naturopath on our team in our beautiful Facebook community. So in this episode, you're going to hear from some of our members so you can hear about their experience firsthand. If you want to know more, we'd love to welcome you. Head on over to the show notes for the link or to our website, naturalsuperkids.com, and you can find out more. Don't forget, we're closing the doors on Sunday, the 31st of October, and we won't be reopening again until next year. And this is the last time we're going to be launching at this price. The price is going to be going up next year. And as a member, whatever price you join in at, you are stuck in at that price. You're locked in at that price, so you won't have to pay the higher price. So now is the time to check out the Natural Super Kids Klub and get that support and inspiration you need to raise healthy and happy kids. Welcome to the Natural Super Kids podcast, where you will discover practical strategies to inspire you to boost the health and nutrition of your kids. I'm Jessica Donovan, a qualified naturopath specialising in kids' health, and I want to make it as easy as possible for you to raise healthy and happy kids. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Natural Super Kids podcast. Jessica Donovan here, and today's episode is something a little bit different. I'm going to be chatting to a couple of our Natural Super Kids Klub members and talking through some of the challenges that they've experienced with their kids' health, what they were looking for in terms of some help and resources when they came across the club, what their favourite things about being a club member are, their favourite resources, what they love about being part of the club community. And so these are really great chats with Sarah and Morgan. And I would like to now introduce you to Sarah, who is a mum of 2 boys, and she will tell you more. Hello, Sarah. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
So you're here to just share a bit about your experience as a club member. So can you just start by telling us a little bit about you and your family?
Sure. So we're a family of 4, my husband and I and my 2 little boys. So our youngest is 16 months and our oldest is about to turn 4 in a couple of weeks. And my husband works a trade job and I'm home with the kids at the moment on parental leave until early next year, where I'll go back to work. I work as a high school home ec teacher. So, yeah, I've got a personal interest in food and nutrition and that kind of stuff anyway, which is really handy because in our household we've got quite a few different dietary requirements to contend with, hence part of my interest in the group. And we really just love spending lots of time outside together, going to the park. We're at that sweet spot now where both boys just can freely explore and I'm not having to pick bark chips out of little one's mouth anymore. So I guess that's us in a nutshell.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, yeah, it's nice when those days are over, isn't it? Like my kids are obviously a bit older. They're 11 and 13. And when I spend time with families with even littler kids, I think, you forget how much hard work it is.
Oh, yes, the supervision when they're mobile, but everything goes in the mouth. Yeah, it's next level.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So how long have you been a club member? And do you remember kind of what you were struggling with when you decided to join the club?
I think it must be about 6 months now that I've been a member. And initially I had listened to the masterclass about boosting your kids' immunity. It was coming into winter. I do remember that. And I thought, this sounds great. I know what it can be like going through winter with the little ones, building their immunity and just catching lots of bits and pieces. So that was part of the motivation to join initially. And then when I heard about the Ask the Naturopath and that we could potentially get some really good quality supplements without all individually having to go, all four of us go and see a practitioner, which would have just been so expensive and I probably just wouldn't have done it. But I'd been wanting for a while to get onto some really good supplements rather than just guessing and getting some bits and pieces from the chemist. So it was those two things that were my initial motivation, to become a member.
Yeah, cool. And you mentioned that your family has some dietary restrictions as well. Tell us a bit more about that.
Sure. So my husband's not great with lactose, although he still does have it sometimes. Myself, I don't tolerate gluten very well, so I avoid gluten. My oldest, we've recently found out is quite sensitive to some natural food chemicals, so salicylates and glutamates. They really affect his mood and his behaviour is very, very different, and his sleep. So we've been working on that for probably about 9 months now. And those being found in lots of even healthy foods has been quite a challenge to maintain a moderate salicylate and glutamate diet for him, but still for him to be included in family meals as well. So that's been a challenge. And my youngest, he didn't tolerate dairy too well, even through breastfeeding. So I've still just been excluding that. We're still breastfeeding now and been very slow to introduce that into his diet. So essentially, if we're all going to eat a family meal, it's got to be gluten and dairy-free and moderate to low glutamate and salicylate as well.
That's a bit to juggle.
Oh, it is. Or something that I can kind of do 2 versions of. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so I'm sure your home ec, skills and knowledge are coming in handy there.
Oh, yes, it's definitely been useful to have, that prior knowledge and the fact that I do enjoy cooking and I don't mind spending some time in the kitchen. And most of the time I enjoy the challenge of, okay, here's something that's inspired me. How can I make that suitable for all of us? So most of the time I enjoy it, but there is those times where I think, oh gosh, it would be nice to just be able to whip something really simple up or, be able to grab something easily from the shops. But it does ensure that we do eat mostly from scratch and lots of really healthy stuff. So if I'm to look on the positive side, it makes sure we eat really well.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that you can look on the positive side. So tell us about, with all that in mind, what it is you love about being a club member. What's sort of helpful in there for you?
Initially, I probably would have said the Ask the Naturopath was one of my favourite things because that's what I had intended to use, and I did use that for quite a few questions initially. But as time's gone on, I've really also loved the other stuff that comes with it. So the cheat sheets I found helpful, especially the coughs and colds type cheat sheet, and the videos. I started with looking through the videos, and I've ended up watching a whole heap, and that sent me on a lot of different tangents. You know, there was one, I can't actually recall her name, but she spoke a lot about relationships, and then she'd recommended a fantastic book to read. So I've gone on to then, you know, buy and read that book, and that's been really helpful.
Oh, that's so good. That might have been Fiona or maybe Emma. We've had a couple of sessions on relationships. Yeah.
I think I have watched both actually, but I think it was, Fiona, perhaps with that one. There's been so many of the videos that I've just, loved it and watched, and then kind of gone on further and investigated. The one about orofacial myology was great because both the boys have mild tongue ties, and that we've since found out is affecting their mouth breathing and their sleep. So I've been in contact with her, and we'll probably end up going to see her for some support going forward as well. So the videos have been great. Maybe I'll leave it there because I could probably just go and list all of the things about the membership. I've been using it a lot, but perhaps the videos if I had to pick a favourite kind of area.
Yeah, that's so great. And we've got obviously the club's been going for about 4 years now, and every single month for all those whole 4 years, we've released a new video. And so there's just such an array of subjects in there, isn't there? From guest experts, as Sarah's sort of explaining, we cover all kinds of different topics. And then there's lots of videos that I do on specific kind of naturopathic and nutrition topics as well. So I love that it just kind of, it broadens your perspective and opens up those doors of things to think about, for different aspects of kids' health and family health. So thank you for sharing those. And, we really try and do our best to support busy mums in the club. I know that a big kind of question we get, or a big, hesitation that people have before joining is like, I don't need another thing to do. Like, is this going to just add to my to-do list? But our goal really is to make it easier for busy mums. So you've got that one-stop shop where you can come and get, trusted advice and resources that will be helpful. So I wanted to ask you specifically how you feel the club helps you as a busy mum.
Yeah, I'd probably completely agree with you there. It's about having all of the information in that one spot. Because usually if something comes up, you could go on the Google tangent and spend ages researching and looking and whatnot, which is usually what I would do. But I love having everything there in one. So the other day, sunscreen was getting low, and I thought I really want to try a different brand. Lots of the natural ones we've tried before. My nearly 4-year-old, he doesn't like having sunscreen applied, as lots of kids that age don't, and the thickness and all of that just made it a bit of a nightmare. So we'd been using a more conventional, thinner one, but that's getting low. So I thought I want to order some more, but find one that he will hopefully either be able to apply himself or won't mind so much. So I thought, great, I'll log on to the Facebook page, and surely someone has asked about sunscreen before, and search sunscreen, and yep, they had, and another member had then directed them to the website, and there was a video about sunscreen which I hadn't come across yet, with the recommendations for brands. So it was easy. I thought, great, I don't need to go hunting around everywhere. I'll just look at these few that have been recommended.
And it helps you save money as well, doesn't it? Because, there's so many options for natural sunscreens, but you never know what they're going to be like until you get them. So you can ask the community, and you can, tap into the resources to help you find something that's going to be suitable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. I just didn't want to buy a whole heap and then him not be happy to wear any of them. And like you said, waste that money. So having it all there, I've found really handy, and it just is the place that I go now for anything that kind of crops up.
Yes, I love that. That just makes me so happy to hear. And that's such a great example. And we have things like, wanting to, sunscreen's a good example, but I was just going to also give the examples of, say, you want to improve the quality of your family's bread. We've got a resource for that. So there's a lot of resources for those foundational things that you can make a switch to a healthier bread, a low tox sunscreen, and then you kind of, that sticks, and then you can move on to the next step. So it's not about doing everything at once. Like, it really is. We are all about that step-by-step slow approach and making progress, not sort of making you feel like you need to be perfect. So I love that example that you shared. And what about the community? I know you're quite active in our club community. We love having you as part of our community. And so what would you say about the community? What is it that you like about it?
I think what I like best is having that connection with people that seem to be fairly like-minded. It is just mostly your mums and some dads, but people who, they're not living off grid and only eating what they grow, but they're not kind of running the conventional path either, sitting in the middle where you're doing everything you can for the health of your family, but being realistic at the same time. And like you're saying, one change at a time. And I've got a couple of girlfriends that I'm really lucky to have that have kids, and they're like-minded too. And so we obviously share and chat, but you don't always have the same challenges or the same experiences. Whereas in the group, it's like having hundreds or however many members there is of those friends that you can go to and ask questions, and they have all of that collective experience as well on top of the expertise of you and the other naturopaths. So it's kind of like just extending your network of those like-minded people tenfold, and that's been really awesome. I probably didn't expect to be so active in the group, but I've just really enjoyed how lovely the members are and non-judgmental, and how willing to share they are with different things. And I felt comfortable to ask, about all sorts of things. I was wanting to get rid of my dry shampoo and hairspray. I thought, here's something I can change. Obviously there are lots of chemicals in there, and I'd love to just say, well, I'm not going to use it anymore, but realistically that probably isn't going to last forever.
We need dry shampoo. Come on.
Yes.
Let's be realistic.
Absolutely. I sure do. So I thought I'll put it out and see if anyone's got a good product. And the best thing was that a few people suggested things like bicarb and tapioca flour. And I thought, well, I've got that in the pantry, perfect. Let's give that a try. And I've stuck with the tapioca flour. I haven't bought any dry shampoo since. So little things like that have been just those little wins that keep adding up. And yeah, the other members had shared that, and that was so helpful.
Yes. And you brought up a couple of really good points, because I think we've had the feedback before that people are sort of hesitate to join the club because they think it's going to be full of like you said, off grid, like kind of really, what's the other, like, crunchy mamas that don't, that are really kind of pure and, like no toxins and, only whole foods, but really it's that realistic kind of community, isn't it? Like everyone's living their sort of busy, regular lives, but we also know how important it is to, boost the nutrition of our kids and reduce toxins and chemicals. So, I think that you brought up a really good point there. And also, utilizing what we have at home. We don't need to go out and buy expensive natural products for everything. And that dry shampoo example that you gave is just perfect. It works so well, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, yeah. So why didn't I try this sooner?
Yeah, I know. And so cheap as well, not another product that you have to buy.
Yeah.
And what about sort of improvements to your family's health or nutrition? Is there anything specific that you've noticed since being a club member?
Probably in terms of specific changes, probably more being affirming and just those reminders about, I've always been really hot on veggies because I know as a home ec teacher that veggies are the trickiest thing, and research shows that kids and teenagers aren't eating enough veggies. So I'm always trying to hide it. And it's been a really good reminder, and seeing the recipes pop up for including veggies in your muffins, and that I love the advice of not waiting until dinner to get all your veggies in and trying to have it throughout the day. So probably seen a little bit of an increase there, and more consistency perhaps with those reminders regularly. And through winter, we definitely spent more time outside than we probably would have otherwise. It was so nice to get the reminders that it is okay to be out there in the rain and getting dirty and muddy, and it doesn't matter if the little 1-year-old is putting things in his mouth, because it's going to be good for him. So we invested in some full rain suits, and so it was suits and boots whenever it was cold or muddy, and we'd still get outside, because I knew that was important. But having that kind of confidence and confirmation that, yeah, it is okay to be out there. They're not going to freeze or poison themselves with dirt. So I think just those little things are probably the health benefits that we've had. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. And yeah, I think we just need those reminders because we are so busy, and that's what the club gives. It's that, the reminders of a post in the group that, that shares their kids playing outside. It's like, oh yeah, we might, we should do a bit more of that as well. So, and it's those little things that add up, like just increasing veggies in your kids' diet and getting them playing outside more. Those things, they're simple, but they are huge in terms of the overall kind of health benefits for your kids. So, yeah, great examples. And lastly, the club is open at the moment for new members to join. So there's lots of mums probably thinking, oh, should I, shouldn't I? They might be on the fence. So is there anything you would say to those mums?
Well, I can relate, because I was definitely on the fence, only because I'm not quick to buy or invest in things. I take my time and I really do think about it. But what I liked is that I thought, well, I can give it a try. I'll give it a try for a few months. I'll ask the naturopath and get our supplements. And then if I'm not using it, I can always opt out if I need to. But I've just continued to find more and more things that are useful, that it's just been awesome. And yeah, I'm happy to continue as a member. So I'd say just give it a go, I guess, and you might find that you're completely surprised, like I am, at the range of things that you have there available, and how much you enjoy the community. Because that was a surprise for me. Yeah.
Yes. And I think there's so much included in the club. It's really hard for us to articulate, everything that you get as a member. And yeah, I mean, a big goal for us is to make this affordable for as many families as we can. So we do have that option of just, paying monthly, jumping in for a month, and you can cancel at any time. We don't make people jump through hoops to cancel. It's literally a couple of clicks of their mouse in the membership site, and you can cancel really easily. So yeah, I think that's what a lot of people kind of think when they join. I'll just join for a month or two and get the answers I need, and then 6 months, 12 months, 2 years later, they're still in. Because there is so much value. And I think especially over the last couple of years with all the lockdowns and restrictions, and we need that kind of pep up, and also that affordable support that we can offer in an online context if you can't get to your practitioner or things like that. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to have a chat, and so nice to meet you face to face as well over Zoom anyway.
Yes. No, it's lovely to chat live, and yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much, Sarah. See you later.
See ya.
Oh, that was so nice to hear from Sarah and have that little chat. So good to have the one-on-one chats with members that I've been supporting for months in the club, and hear what, they're particularly liking and finding helpful about the club. So I hope you enjoyed meeting Sarah on the podcast. And now I want to introduce you to another one of our valued club members, Morgan. So excited to be talking to one of our club members, Morgan, today. Thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, my pleasure.
Great to have you. So can you start by telling us a little bit about your family?
Yep. So I'm 30. I work in financial services from home at the moment because we're in Melbourne. I'm married to Luke. He's a little bit older, so he's 37. He's a trainee, and we have a little girl, Stevie, who is 2.5.
Oh, gorgeous. I love that name, Stevie.
Yeah.
So cute. 2.5, fun time. So
Oh, absolutely.
tell us how long you've been a club member, and if you remember kind of what you were struggling with when you decided to join the club. Like, what was it that I guess made you seek out some support or some helpful resources?
Yeah, I certainly remember. So I joined, I think it was around June. So that's only 4 months ago, but I do feel like I've been here for so much longer. I've learned so much in that short time and just come a long way with, what I know and that sort of stuff. So it's just really led me down to a path that I think I wish I was on a long time ago. And so what kicked it off for me was I come back from maternity leave, back to work, and so we put Stevie into daycare 4 days a week, and I swear she was sick every 2 weeks, it felt like, and each time, we'd have to have a week off for her to recover, and I just felt really overwhelmed, I think, because we also don't have family here to support or to help us out sort of thing. So I just felt really overwhelmed with how I was sort of going to manage this going forward with an almost full-time job, and it was just it was quite overwhelming, and so I was desperate to find ways to help boost her immune system, and just ensure that we're making her the healthiest that she can be. And so when I come across, I think a webinar was for the NSK Klub, that highlighted the 5 key elements to help boost your child's immune system, I jumped on board. And after watching that, it just started on me on a whole new journey, I think. And I was super intrigued to continue to learn more about it. And so I couldn't sign up quick enough. And it's just been life-changing from then for me and our family. I just realised there was so much that I didn't know in terms of optimising true health and also the impacts of certain things that we'd previously done. It's just really made me rethink a lot of things, and it just all makes a lot of sense for me now.
Yeah, that's so great to hear. And I think there's few answers, isn't there, when kids are always getting sick? It's like, yeah, well, it's normal when kids are going to childcare, and really there's not a lot of answers except antibiotics if infections
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. And that's what I always would have thought as well, automatically, let's get her to the doctor, let's get her on antibiotics. But that's my whole thinking is just completely changed around that now.
Yeah. Okay, that's great to hear. So tell us a bit more about that. So I guess what are some of the changes you've made since being a club member, and some of the improvements that you've seen in your little girl's health?
Yeah, so definitely, I think just trying to optimize what she's eating. We would often just use the frozen meals for her, just because we were time poor. They were advertised as healthy, but having learnt a fair bit more about real food in the club, and really trying to make an effort to create recipes, with real food, I suppose, and reducing any of the nasty stuff and the packet mixes and all that stuff. Just learning so much about just what's really in that kind of the jars and the cans and the packets and all that sort of stuff. And since changing those things and cooking more from scratch, following the NSK recipes, I can't even remember last time she was sick. So it's absolutely made a difference for us. Definitely.
Yeah. Food is just so powerful, isn't it, when it comes to the immune system? And that point you brought up of things appearing like they're healthy, the frozen meals, the packets that have got, high in fiber or low in sugar plastered all over them. for busy mums, it's hard to sort of try and navigate through all of that. So I'm so glad that you've learned more about that. And I know from what you share in the club group that you are utilizing so many of the recipes, because you're sharing pictures of recipes and the success that you're having using them with your family. So tell us a bit more about, what are your favorite things about being a club member? Do you have any favorite recipes or other favorite resources?
Yeah, absolutely. The recipes and probably the Ask A Naturopath sessions are equally my favourite things. I literally use the recipes every single day for dinner, and then plus anything else that I might like to try in terms of snacks or lunches. I've never been let down. They're absolutely delicious, and just knowing that they are nutritious as well. Just, even sneaking in veggies in certain ways that I would never have thought of, to get them as much as into stevia as possible, is amazing. So, and I've not been let down once, and I've kind of, there's barely any that I've sort of had to cook twice. There's a lot on offer.
So there's lots of variety. So you can sort of change things up, all the time. And I think what a lot of people don't realize about whole food cooking, cooking from scratch, people think that it's going to take forever and they don't have time. But we really try and provide recipes that are, simple to make, ingredients that you've got in your pantry, especially once you become a club member and learn more about that. So I just love seeing you utilizing all of those recipes. And for anyone listening who is thinking, what is this Ask the Naturopath? I just want to give people a bit of context. So every week in the club, I go live and I answer the members' questions. And so, all of our members have the opportunity to ask questions about their family's health and get a qualified answer. And I know that's not just your favourite part, that's lots of our members' favourite part of the club. So what do you find so helpful about that?
I think just knowing that it's always there to access is really beneficial for me, and it just keeps me at ease. I know how much naturopath appointments can be, and so I think it's invaluable, really, just having that access each week to be able to address any concerns that we may have, I suppose, is really beneficial and invaluable, definitely.
Yeah, and I think, particularly over the last couple of years where it might be hard to get to an appointment, and let alone, as you said, like it's expensive. If you've just got a couple of questions, then the club can be a really affordable way to sort of get those answers for your specific health concerns. So thank you for sharing that. And I know you're a busy mum, you work and you're juggling the kind of kids and home life and work. So what is it about the club, or is there anything about the club that makes it easier for you as a busy mum?
I will definitely say the recipes. So I'm not at all creative when it comes to meal ideas, and I'm not someone that can just sort of to whip something up with what I might have in the fridge. So my favourite part of the recipes is the you can search via ingredients. So, I'll look at what I've got in the fridge and sit down once a week and plan out my meals for the week, and I'll put down the ingredient and it will bring up a range of recipes for me. So I find that really helpful because I hate wasting food, especially because we're sort of investing in organic food too now at the moment. So I hate to see any of it go to waste, because of course that's a little bit more pricier too. So I think just the access to the recipes, and just only having to go to that one resource and not having to trawl through the internet, because like I said, I'm not very creative, so I definitely need to search recipes, but having that one resource to find simple, healthy and yummy food, it saves me a lot of time, so that's a big benefit.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it? Because even, there's so many recipes that we can get online, but it's hard to kind of sift through and figure out which ones are really healthy and which ones aren't. And so I guess with the club, you know that they're nutritionally rich. They don't contain any nasties. And like you said, they're, simple and quick and, fairly easy to make. So that's so good. I love that you're utilizing all of those recipes. And what about our community? I know you're an active member of our club community. We really appreciate having you and, all of the sharing that you do when you kind of have a win with a recipe, that sort of thing. So what is it that you love most about the club community?
I would say just always knowing, again, that I have access to the knowledge and the experience of other like-minded mums, where I know that there will generally always be someone who has been through the same thing or has, I guess has had a personal experience the same as what we may have as well. So there's generally always an answer to whatever query that I might have, and just the support as well, and just validating any other kind of feelings and things that I might be going through, again, with like-minded mums. So that's, yes,
such a good point, because the community is such a great place to ask questions, but it's also a great place to share challenges, and like you said, everyone's like-minded, everyone's maybe at a different stage. It's very non-judgmental. You can ask sort of any question you like, and it's not just me and the team here at Natural Super Kids that can offer qualified advice. It's also the community, isn't it? Involvement, and so many helpful mums that will chip in and say, oh, this is what's worked for me or my child, or here's an idea that I've tried. And I think that's just as valuable as getting that sort of more qualified advice as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And then there's, this podcast is going live at the time when the club is going to be open and we'll be welcoming new members. So there's lots of mums out there sort of questioning, should I, shouldn't I, sitting on the fence maybe. Do you have anything you want to say to them about your experience in the club?
So I imagine the only reason that people might be a little bit hesitant, I guess, is because of the cost, because I can't see any other reason why they might be hesitant. But my biggest thing is that you can't put a price on health and knowledge. But even so, like, the cost is so minimal for what you get. As I said, naturopath appointments can be quite pricey. So for me, having that weekly access for direct advice is invaluable, on top of everything else. And I think right now, in particular, is more important, is particularly important to be looking after ourselves and making sure that we're keeping ourselves in the most optimal health as possible. And I think also knowing that I could opt out at any time, I was willing to sort of at least jump in and give it a go while I'm still here. And I don't say that I'll be going anytime soon, because I just love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I think the cost is a big sort of factor for people. We all think about the money we're going to invest. And like you said, you really can't put a price on health. And we have done our best to make this affordable for as many families as possible. It really helps you to save money in the long run with the things that you learn in the club. And then also, we've talked a bit about time as well. I think that's another hesitation that some people have. I don't have time for this. It's just going to add to the things that I need to do. But as we've talked about, it can really help you save time to have that one-stop shop where you can, come and get that trusted advice and those resources that are healthy. So, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Like I said, you're such a valued member of our community. We love everything that you share in there. So for members or the mums out there that are joining, you will definitely see Morgan in the community group sharing her creations in her kitchen. Thanks so much, Morgan.
Thank you, Jess. Thanks for your time. It's my pleasure.
See you later.
Bye.
So it was really lovely to chat to both Morgan and Sarah today, and I hope it's been helpful for you to hear about their experience in the Natural Super Kids Klub, because there is so much included in the club. It's really hard to articulate everything that's included, and different members find different resources helpful and utilize, different aspects of the Natural Super Kids Club. It really is a one-stop shop where you can get that trusted advice and helpful resources to help you raise healthy and happy kids. Now, we are open, if you are listening to this in real time, for the last time in 2021. So we are going to be closing the doors to the club on Sunday, the 31st of October at midnight. So you have this week to join, as I said, if you're listening in real time. We would love to welcome you as a new member. Make sure you go and check it out and, read through all the details of everything that's included in the club. And just knowing that at its very core, the Natural Super Kids Club is really designed for busy mums to make it easier for you to raise healthy and happy kids, to boost the health and nutrition of your kids, because we do need extra help with that in the busy kind of modern day world that we live in. So go and check it out. I really hope to see you in the club, and I look forward to supporting you. You can check out the link in the show notes or head on over to our website, naturalsuperkids.com, to find out more. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the podcast next week. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Head on over to our website, naturalsuperkids.com, for the show notes for this episode, as well as a whole heap of inspiration to help you raise healthy and happy kids. I'll see you next week.